inside and turned his card around to say that he had left, but in hopes that one day he might return. They looked to each other and nodded. Having marked themselves as out, just as they had Jiraiya, each one hoped in their heart that all those cards might one day, once again, be turned to show that they were there. As they stepped out, Naruto took one last look at the interior and smiled before closing the door for the final time. He turned to the others. The sun was rising. It was daybreak. With hope in their hearts for a better future, they forged ahead into the unknown, into the sunrise, into the daybreak, into the Akatsuki. The rain continued to fall. The sun had gone down. Not that it made much of a difference, but all the same, it was nighttime. They were looking over a rather small village. Naruto in the trees, Yahiko on the ground. Konan was with those gathered within for protection and defense, and Nagato was on a rooftop. This poor, tiny village had been sacked over 3 times in 1 month. Being that Amegakure and the surrounding area were all flanked by shinobi nation, such a village had often been attacked itself by the Hidden Stone, who needed more resources to keep the war going. In fear, this tiny village reached out to buy help with its meager funds. Maybe it couldn't hire big-name elite shinobi, but they would take whatever they could get at this time. They were tired of their tiny village being the source of fighting. So many innocent men, women, and children had been killed or starved because they either resisted or didn't resist. An entire way of life was on the line, and those who could do something about it didn't. And so that's where they were now. That was the state of things. There was never a job too small for the Akatsuki. The smaller the village, the tougher the work, and the less the reward. But someone had to defend the weak, and that was the MO of the Akatsuki. If they couldn't bring peace to a simple village caught between warring nations, how could they ever hope to save the world and bring peace? They kept guard. Word had come in that another raid was on its way, so our modest little group of heroes for hire simply waited, offering fortification and defense, preparing for what was to come. So far, they seemed like they were ready. Nagato kept his eyes on the horizon to see if any were coming. Konan was on the ground, and Yahiko would be the olive branch extended to the raiders. Naruto, though, he was what came when that olive branch was rejected. Paper bombs, shuriken, and crossbows. He had them all set up as traps around the village, connected by a massive fishing line that he held in his hand. In the distance, he heard a distinct whistle that came from Nagato. This was the signal. He'd seen something, likely the oncoming threat. He got into position, ready to fight. Yahiko merely stood there, waiting. Suddenly, the men showed up. Yahiko stepped forward. "Really? This is your 4th attempt in 3 days. Every time we've sent you and your crew packing. Why do you keep doing this, Kyusuke?" The shinobi scoffed. "We need food. They have food. It's simple, really." Yahiko shook his head. "No, I'm talking about continuing to return and cause trouble even when we show up to defeat you." The shinobi remained silent, merely pulling out a weapon with which to strike back with. Yahiko sighed. "Are you really going to force us to do this again?" Kyusuke nodded. "I will. Every day until I get what I want." Yahiko looked to Nagato, who would once more whistle. This time a different signal. Every projectile, every crossbow, every shuriken all converged on the location of the enemy as a smoke bomb activated below their feet and blurred their vision. The weapons went in. It wasn't even a close.
Alright, literally, this shit's so free. All you have to do is, like, on Master, it's a bit different. Instead of just, like on normal difficulty when I cleared this, I just used Blinding GL, and then, I just use Blinding GL with, like, you know, hammers to fucking weaken them, but on Master, you have to, like, use, this thing, because they have arc shields, and then you just get them all low. Make sure that you don't fucking, like, as you see, I fucking accidentally killed the 3, on the left side, because the arc, like, shield thing, I don't fucking know. And, just make sure you don't do that, but if you get lucky like me, then, you know, you get it without needing the other 3 knights. Just make sure that, like, the guy that you're finishing is right behind the boss, and then, like, because what you're supposed to do is you finish, and then you, like, basically punch the boss off the map. So that's, like, the whole point of this. That's basically it. It's very easy. If you want a cool looking tag on your raid report. No, I'm just joking. It's not, like, raid report doesn't matter, but yeah, just how to do Master if you want to know.